The movie begins with a scene set in San Francisco, USA, in 2008, where a cruise ship is heading towards Alcatraz Island. During this time, a talented freelance photographer is taking a brief trip to capture images of tourists. A young woman named Zoe Mosang manages to sneak onto the ship and offers her photography services to the tourists in order to earn some money. However, her photo shoot is abruptly halted when a security officer on the ship begins to patrol the area, as it is against the law. Several years later in Shanghai, China, in 2015, a woman named Huo Xinzi arrives at Mosang's apartment to wake her up. Xinzi is Mosang's assistant and has been working alongside her for the past few years. Mosang now works as a professional photographer in Shanghai, earning a good income. After opening all the curtains in the apartment, Xinzi urges Mosang to wake up promptly as they have a photo shoot scheduled soon. Once all the preparations are done, Mosang hurries to the studio to photograph models for a national magazine. She diligently carries out her work, just as she has been doing for the past 7 years. After completing the photo shoot, Mosang went to the supermarket to buy groceries. While she was busy selecting some drinks, she accidentally spotted her ex-boyfriend, Adi-chan, with another girl at a cafe. Mosang had ended their relationship 7 years ago, before leaving for the USA. Feeling uncomfortable about the encounter, she tried to hide among the drink shelves, but ended up knocking over a stack of drinks next to her. Consequently, Yi-chan and the girl, Adi-mei, noticed her presence. However, Yi-chan showed no reaction to seeing her and chose to leave the area with Adi-mei. Later that night, as Mosang was about to leave the supermarket and return to her apartment, the security officer approached her, saying she had left her wallet behind. Initially hesitant to accept it because she didn't think she had lost it, she changed her mind when the security officer mentioned there was a photo of her inside. Upon examining the photo, Mosang recognized it as one taken several years ago and realized it must have belonged to Yi-chan. She began to speculate that he still harbored feelings for her, keeping her picture even after all these years since their breakup. Furthermore, discovering the words, "You are my sunshine" written on the back of the photo strengthened her belief that he still loved her. The following day, as Mosang prepared for a photo shoot, Xinzi informed her that the model for the day, Shosho, was quite popular and had specific criteria and rules for her pictures. Shortly after, Shosho arrived at the studio, and Mosang began taking photos under Xinzi's guidance. During the shoot, Mosang and Shosho realized they were university friends, which brought a moment of reflection. Later that evening, Shosho invited Mosang to a nightclub to catch up. Shosho was aware of Mosang's past relationship with Yi-chan and assumed Mosang would return to him in China. Mosang clarified that Yi-chan was now in a relationship with someone else named Yi-mei. Shosho criticized Mosang for leaving Yi-chan without explanation and shared what he went through after she left for the USA. He waited for her in their college dorm all day upon hearing she was going to New York, and was heartbroken when she left. Before leaving, Mosang gave Shosho Yi-chan's business card, revealing he had become a successful lawyer in Shanghai. The next day, Mosang visited the address on the card to return Yi-chan's wallet. While Mosang was still at the studio that night, Xinzi informed her that a handsome man wanted to see her. It turned out to be Yi-chan, who came specifically to request the picture from his wallet. Mosang declined, explaining it was her photo, and she didn't want him to keep it if it meant he would always remember her. Before leaving, Yi-chan confessed that he kept the picture to remind himself of the pain he'd experienced chasing after her. Upon hearing Yi-chan's words, Mosang couldn't help but sit down and reminisce about the first time they met. Initially, Yi-chan had been distant and aloof as a law student, but she managed to capture his heart. The following day, Mosang sent the photo she found in Yi-chan's wallet to his assistant, along with some candies they used to enjoy together. Yi-chan fondly recalled their past moments, including their first kiss. The next evening, noticing Mosang's confusion, Xinzi tried to uplift her spirits by dressing her up and taking her for a walk. As they were about to leave, Mosang coincidentally encountered Yi-chan with a girl named Miss Wen. Xinzi assumed Yi-chan was dating Miss Wen and tried to defend Mosang's feelings by scolding him. However, Mosang intervened and allowed Yi-chan to leave with Miss Wen. Watching them depart together, Mosang's mood darkened, prompting her to return to her apartment. Shortly after Mosang entered the lobby, Yi-chan surprised her by appearing behind her and embracing her tightly. He kissed her passionately, conveying his enduring love for her and expressing the pain he felt after she left for the USA 7 years ago. The next day, Yi-chan invited Mosang to visit their university to reminisce about their past together. He mentioned how their law professor often inquired about their relationship. After spending the entire day together, Yi-chan drove Mo-sang back to her apartment. Before parting ways, he apologized for his actions the previous night, and she forgave him. Their love rekindled, and they resumed their relationship. Yi-chan even ended his involvement with Miss Wen, the mayor's daughter who had been pursuing him. However, the following evening, Mo-sang shocked Yi-chan by revealing that she had married someone else in 2011 while in the USA. This revelation shattered him once again, as he had hoped for a reunion with her. The other day, Yi-chan reminisced about his childhood, recalling the tragic loss of his father, who took his own life due to bankruptcy. Yi-chan's mother revealed to him that Mo-sang's father was the one responsible for his father's downfall, as he had been a competitor in business. Despite Mo-sang's father offering to cover Yi-chan's tuition fees abroad, Yi-chan declined the offer, still harboring resentment over his father's fate. A few days later, Mo-sang learned from one of Yi-chan's colleagues that he had been hospitalized. Mo-sang rushed to the hospital to visit him, where she unexpectedly encountered Yi-mei. Yi-mei confessed that she had informed Mo-sang about Yi-chan's condition. She explained that Yi-chan suffered from a severe stomach illness due to excessive alcohol consumption, which had escalated into alcoholism after Mo-sang left for the USA. Yi-mei revealed that she was Yi-chan's foster sister, adopted by Yi-mei's parents when they were young. Although Yi-mei had once harbored feelings for Yi-chan, she realized that his heart belonged solely to Mo-sang and chose to step aside. Despite his heartbreak, Yi-mei continued to support Yi-chan through the years of suffering after Mo-sang's departure. After hearing Yi-mei's explanation, Mo-sang felt overwhelming guilt for her actions towards Yi-chan. A few days after Yi-chan's recovery, Mo-sang visited him and confessed that she had divorced her husband. Hoping to reconcile and restart their relationship, Mo-sang expressed her desire to make amends. However, Yi-chan rejected her, stating that he couldn't accept someone who had previously belonged to another person, and he asked her to leave. That evening, Yi-chan received advice from his assistant to set aside his pride and compromise in pursuit of the happiness he yearned for. The following day, Yi-chan arrived at Mo-sang's rundown apartment and promptly proposed marriage. He urged her to prepare her passport so they could register their marriage at the civil office immediately. Despite the marriage officer's suggestion to delay the ceremony due to an inauspicious day, Yi-chan insisted on proceeding and completed all the necessary paperwork that day. After the registration, he presented Mo-sang with a credit card, a new car, and a key to their new home. He informed her that his assistant, William, would assist with relocating her belongings to their new residence. The following day, as Miss Wen prepared to give Yi-chan a cake, she discovered that he had married Mo-sang. Miss Wen remarked that Yi-chan's bond with William was closer than any relationship he had with a girl. Mo-sang also questioned William to determine if Yi-chan might be gay, but upon confirming Yi-chan's orientation, she felt relieved. William, an orphan whom Yi-chan had supported through his education, had eventually become a lawyer like Yi-chan. In the evening, Mo-sang called Yi-chan when he hadn't returned home yet. He explained that he was on a business trip with a client outside the city and wouldn't be able to return for a few days. However, he surprised Mo-sang by unexpectedly showing up at their apartment at midnight while she was asleep. Although she asked him to sleep beside her, he declined, feeling uneasy about the situation. This made Mo-sang wonder if he had no desire to be intimate with her, so she sought advice from her friends the following day. Mo-sang's friends suggested she wear seductive clothing to welcome Yi-chan home. That evening, she dressed in a super sexy outfit as advised and greeted Yi-chan with an erotic dance. However, he unexpectedly arrived home with a colleague, leaving her feeling embarrassed. She quickly retreated to the room, hiding behind a blanket. The following night, Yi-chan envisioned proposing to Mo-sang at a fancy restaurant with a stunning diamond ring. However, their plans were disrupted when they encountered Mo-sang's stepmother at the store. Seeing her, Yi-chan felt uncomfortable and left abruptly. Reflecting on his father's death, Yi-chan realized Mo-sang's stepmother was the cause. As Mo-sang approached him outside the restaurant, expecting the surprise he had planned, he denied preparing it and appeared upset. Although Mo-sang attempted to inquire about his mood, he chose not to elaborate. The next evening, Yi-chan visited Mo-sang's apartment because she hadn't come to his house as usual. Upon arrival, he questioned why she hadn't responded to his calls, and she explained that her phone had unexpectedly turned off. When he found her flight ticket to the USA, he scolded her, fearing she might leave him again. Angered, Yi-chan attempted to carry her to bed forcefully. But Mo Sang stopped him when he discovered she was severely ill with the flu. Feeling guilty for frightening her, he decided to leave. Before he could leave in his car, Mo Sang ran after him, reassuring him that she would only be away for a few days. Relieved to hear she wasn't leaving him, Yi Chan covered her with his jacket to keep her warm and prevent her illness from worsening. The next day, when Mo Sang woke up in Yi Chan's embrace, she noticed he had placed a diamond ring on her finger. From then on, their relationship improved, as if they were reliving the good times they shared during their courtship. A few days later, while strolling through the city festival, Mo Sang was stunned to encounter her ex-husband, Ying Hui. He was a successful entrepreneur with multiple businesses in the USA. Yi Chan had learned about Ying Hui when they met at an event a few weeks prior. That night, Ying Hui privately spoke with Yi Chan about Mo Sang's past in the USA. He disclosed that their marriage had been solely a contract arrangement. After Mo Sang's family faced sudden bankruptcy following her relocation to the USA, she struggled to make ends meet by working as a freelance photographer on college campuses. Feeling sympathy for her situation, Ying Hui offered assistance. When Mo Sang decided to adopt an orphan boy named Jack, she needed spousal support to navigate the administrative processes. Thus, Ying Hui posed as her husband to facilitate the adoption. Over time, he developed feelings for her, but he realized she still harbored deep affection for Yi Chan. Ying Hui became aware of Yi Chan when he was hospitalized due to a gunshot wound inflicted by Jack's biological father. Witnessing Mo Sang's unwavering dedication to Yi Chan during his hospital stay, Ying Hui discovered Yi Chan's significance in her life. Upon learning about the turbulent history between Yi Chan's and Mo Sang's families, Ying Hui felt compelled to reclaim her, fearing Yi Chan might harm her. However, Yi Chan reassured him of his sincere love for Mo Sang and his commitment to her well-being. The following day, Mo Sang's stepmother, Aunt Pei, visited Yi Chan's office after learning of his marriage to Mo Sang. Aunt Pei sought assurance that Yi Chan hadn't married Mo Sang out of revenge for her father's actions, as Mo Sang was innocent of her father's death. Yi Chan clarified that he harbored no ill intentions toward Mo Sang's family, and even requested Aunt Pei to keep the truth about her father's death from Mo Sang. Later, Mo Sang and Yi Chan vacationed in San Francisco, sailing on a boat Mo Sang had ridden before. There, they unexpectedly encountered a fellow photographer who had taken Mo Sang's picture during her time in the USA. When Mo Sang examined photos from her colleague's old album, she discovered Yi Chan's picture on the back. It dawned on her that Yi Chan had spent the first 2 years in the USA searching for her. The film ends with Mo Sang embracing Yi Chan, overwhelmed with guilt for the hardships he endured for her sake. So the moral of the story is always check your wallet, because you never know if it's secretly holding onto your ex's photo and a whole lot of emotional baggage.